Hey ladies, it's Amy at the Crafty Cottage. How are you all today? I'm a few minutes early, but I wanted to make sure I was on and I was live and everything was good. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on my Facebook so you can see all your comments. I know one of my customers is vacationing in Florida, which is not so good. It's really bad. I hope any of my followers that are in Florida being affected by Sally, yeah, I hope you're safe because it's ugly over there. And I'm brokenhearted. Pink Pony Pub had some damage, and that has a lot of fond memories for me and my beastie, Kathy. So let me get Facebook pulled up on my phone so I can see your comments. Let's find my page. Here we go. Here's my page. Let's see. Let's turn the volume all the way down. Make sure we don't have any. There we go. We got one visitor. Hello, whoever you are. Say hi, and I will make sure that I get to talk to you. All right, there we go. Now I can see everything on there, and we're going to make a gatefold card today. I don't have a picture of it for you or the card because when I made it, I was punning on the video, and the next day, a friend of mine posted that she lost her puppy dog. And it was really a sympathy card for a puppy dog. And I loved the card and wanted to save it, but I was like, no, I need to send it. So I mailed off the card that we're going to do today, but we're going to recreate it. And it's okay that we don't have a picture. I will post a picture of the original when I put up the blog post with this video to it. And I will have all of the details there along with the measurements. And I'm trying to put together a graph on how you do this because this gatefold card is going to open up and have when you open it up, it will have two symmetrical, you can use hearts. I'm using hearts. You can use circles, rectangles, whatever, as long as it's a symmetrical piece. And you'll see that in the video when we get on to doing this. It's 11 o'clock, and if you're here, please leave me a comment. I'm more than happy to have you share. If you're doing this on my YouTube, please like and subscribe at the end, or you can just end and like and subscribe so you know when I put new things up. Here, I fix my moderation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip you over and we'll get started. I'm even going to pull out the Big Shot. Yes, I know. Stampin' Up! Has a new stamp and emboss cut machine or Stampin' Cut machine. I think they called it Cam. I don't remember what they've called it. But anyway, I have not bought it because I have two Big Shots. I really want the little one, but it won't be available now until next year because of this lovely thing called COVID. I'm so over that excuse. I really am. The world is starting to come out. Let's move on, people. Come on. I'm a transplant patient. Yes, I know I shouldn't be that way, but just So I'm sure most of you feel that way, and that's taking most of my business online, which is really sad because I like Stampin' Up! To be in and interacting with other people with like minds and like designs and wanting to get into all of this together. And, you know, it's more fun, it's more creative, and you get ideas. So again, anyway, enough of all of that. Let's flip you over and get to making a beautiful card that you will love. And yes, it is a little bit of a pet sympathy, but you can change that up to work yourself. All right, let me take you off of my desktop. Okay, here we go. If you need to use the hostess code this month, here's my hostess code. It is T like Tom, S like Sam, K like kitten, H like Harry, P like Paul, R like Richard. I don't know why the K stumped me. Anyway, we're going to be using several sets today. And hello to those of you who just joined us. We're going to be using Pampered Pets. We're going to be using the ornate dies, which I store inside my my stamps that they match. We're going to use this die right here today. I've already got these cut out for me, but I will show you how I've cut those out. We'll also be using the Meant to Be dies, which are called Stitched Heart Framelits. We're going to be using the dies that go with this heart right here. That so you can see what we're doing. And what I've got is, what you're going to need is 2 sheets of cardstock for a base. It's going to be, and I have mine scored in funny ways. You ignore that right now. This is going to be 5.5 by 8.25, and you're going to score it at 4.25 like you would for any card base. You're going to take both of those, two of those, two like that, and you're going to take both of those, and you're going to fix them like that, just like this. Put them in together, card 1, card 2, and you're going to put them like that. But before well, go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and do mine. And then I'm going to show you, we've scored them at 2 and an 8 on the other side. So this piece would be your 8.25 scored at 8 and 4.25. And your other piece would be exactly the same, scored at 4.25 and 2 and an 8. Then you're just going to flip them and glue them in together. Now I have another score here because I messed up, and it's okay because I'm going to hide it with another piece of paper. So you also have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this is 4 by 5.25. I also took Whisper White cardstock and put it on some adhesive back sheets like this right here, and then I ran it through my Big Shot, and I came out with these dies. So these are going to be already self-adhesive for us, so we don't have to do anything else with those, okay? And then you're going to need a piece of, this is Magenta Madness. This is the Pink Pirouette or Blushing Bride, Pink Pirouette or Powder Pink. Those are retired, and I might be using retired pink, but you can use Blushing Bride as well, or any pink that you have. This is the Magenta Madness, and this is 1 inch by 11 inches, and it is scored at, and I just threw away the paper I had that on, because my paper that I had that was right all these dimensions down. I was doing some of that ombre effect, which I have already posted, and it's all over the place, and it's really, really pretty. All right, here's my numbers. Okay, scored at 3 1/4, or no, that's not it. Where did it go? That's not it. Here it is. It is scored at 3 5/8 by 8 1/8. So I'm going to write that down. We're going to score this piece at 3 1/8 by, no, 3 5/8 by, and 8 1/8. So this is 1 inch by 11 inches. 1 inch by 11 inches scored at 3 5/8 by, and again at 8 1/8. So it's going to be 3 5/8 and 8 inches along the ends. Okay, so this is going to be able to fold around. What we're going to do is make a belly band out of this. Put that to the side. So what I'm going to do is show you. First, we're going to go ahead and glue our 2 pieces that are cut. Yes, they're already semi-ready because I've been working on this, and I wanted to make sure I didn't take up all of your afternoon doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little tape runner, because tape runner will be better for this because it'll put it in position and it'll be dry. I generally like to use glue, liquid glue, but using liquid glue today, it'll wiggle around too much, and so I'll probably use a little of both. So I'm literally just going to run this, so it holds it, maybe one in the middle. And I've got stuff all around me today because, you know, my little space to actually do the vlog do the videos is pretty small. So, you know, all right. So there we go. We've got our card base set together, and you're going to have these scored on each end at 2 1/8 on both sides, so that when you bone fold them together, they're going to be like this. Okay. Now, in order to do this, we still need to do die. So what I did is I took this die right here, and I taped it down symmetrically on one side to give me this beautiful cut. Now I'm trying to make sure I get it right in the right spot, because this is not suggested to do it this way. I'm going to go get some washi tape. The one thing I forgot to bring over. And, you know, when you're doing a blog post, and even though you do it, what I need to do is just go ahead and get me another little cart And as I'm doing my cards for the video, I can put everything together like I used to do for my classes. And then they would all be there and I wouldn't have to worry about missing something. It'd be really nice. But I haven't gotten to get one yet, and I'm going to have to rearrange the she shed because the hubby will probably end up with a job that is at home, and I can't really have him working in the tiny house because of the dogs. So, okay, I'm going to tape this side down so that it will stay there. And we're going to open it back up, and it's going to be right there. And we're going to cut it through while it's folded, just like that. And we're going to get our Big Shot out. And I'm going to get all of these little folders and things out of my way so we can just do the Big Shot part. And if I hit the camera, I'm really sorry. It's tight quarters over here. So what we're going to do is just lay this here and make sure that it's flat and straight right where it's supposed to be. And you'll probably have to run this through twice because it is going through 2 layers of cardstock. Okay, now we should be good to pull this out. Okay. Pulls right out. We've got our little cut. Now I'm going to be very careful about pulling this washi tape up. The only thing about using washi on this is it does adhere once you run it through the Big Shot a little bit. That's why I'm generally not a component of doing this because it sticks to your paper. If it's paper that you want to use to be exposed, it kind of leaves a little sticky to it, which I have a little sticky on the other side. You can see it right here. See? That's not good. So now you see we've got this beautiful little heart right there in the center of our card. Perfect. Exactly what we're looking for. Now I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. We are going to do more. On my original card, I embossed this with the Dainty Diamonds. And you could do that, or you could put, take a piece 4.25 by 5.5 of DSP and cut out a heart in the middle of it. And then you can put that over this. But I'm going to go ahead and emboss it so I can show you how to do that. And because this is a sympathy, I think I'm going to go with I pulled out 3. I have the Dainty embossing folder that I used before. And you really didn't see it at all, and I didn't like that. I want it to show up. And I also have the Parisian Flourishing something embossing folder. I don't remember the name of it. I haven't used this one too much, but I find it's a little too, I don't know, too feminine. I don't think this is good for a sympathy card. So I'm going to go with the brick. I think it'll look good with the Pampered Pets. So that's what we're going to use. And yes, I know it's on pink. I could go ahead and do it in white, cut the heart out, and put it on there. But, you know, let's try it. I mean, worst that can happen is that we don't like it and we redo it. Or we don't like it and we put DSP on it anyway. You know, it's okay either way. All right. So I'm going to open this Big Shot up. I'm trying to get here in the middle for you, so you can see this. So I really just want to emboss this 2/8 piece. So I'm going to stick it like this. You can see this. And this camera does not do well with doing the embossing folder as well. So I'm hoping you can see me. If you can't, please just tell me. I don't have any comments, so I guess the video is good. All right, so we've got it on there and it's going to fold. And because I have my magnetic platform in here, it's really hard to do this. I probably won't do this again. Let's see if it goes through. That's not going to go through. I have to get the other plate. Okay, I'm going to switch plates. That's the one thing with the embossing machine. It has everything you need, and you don't have to worry about a bunch of plates. It's labeled really nicely for you, and I really appreciate that Stampin' did that. But I have 2 relatively new machines, so I just didn't find it economically sensible for me to go and purchase a new machine right now. especially with all the mess going on. I mean, you know, we're okay, but you know, I'd like my husband to find another job. And if you guys know any IT workaround, you know, hey, let me know. My husband would love some. All right, now we're going to try it this way. Make sure this way. Yes, this should work. Okay, now make sure you put your embossing folder in with the rib going in. So we're going to just roll this through just to the edge and stop. And I'm going to double check to make sure it did right. And it did. It didn't emboss all the way though. Shoot. Not digging this whole setup. Did not think about this. I should have these embossed before I did this. Or before I glued it down. But in order to cut where you want to go, you can't really cut and then emboss. That doesn't too bad. All right, so we're going to go back in and do it again. And the biggest problem is that it's this way. Okay, so you want to pay attention to where your line is, and you want your line to go right to the edge of the embossing part. Here we go. That should work much better. And again, spine goes in first because otherwise you'll probably break your folder. And just to where you can feel it pull off and back, and you should be good. And we might have a little white line or a little unembossed edge, and I don't think that's really going to make that big of a difference. No, not really. You really can't tell. You can on the bottom part, but we can put an embellishment over that and cover that. There we go. So that's the base of it, and I think it looks really cute. I'm going to move this big shot out of the way while we finish this up, because it is totally bulky and a pain in the butt. That is the nice thing about the new one, is that it's not as bulky and it shrinks to be smaller and you can have more room. All right, so now we've got this. Let's lay it. I'm not going to glue this down yet. This is our inside base. It is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to lay it right here. We're going to fold this so we can kind of see where our center is. So this will help us know where to place anything else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it down and take a pencil, and I'm going to lightly trace my heart, just so I know where it is. And I, like I said, I lightly traced it so I can cut it out. I can erase it. That's just lightly traced. I can cut that out. So I'm just going to set this part aside. And I have already cut out and stamped this little guy. And I've colored him. He is, if you can look at him really well, there's a little balmy blue, the light balmy blue from our blends. And I did a little magenta for the collar to match our magenta belly band. And then I've done cinnamon cider for the dirt and grass all around, because here in North Carolina, our puppy dog that is a schnauzer, like this little guy, he's white. And he is really kind of orange in his feet, his face, his beard, his belly. He's orange. Matter of fact, he is sleeping on the pillow right next to me because, you know, he can't not be in the same room with me. It's really hilarious. Hilariously funny and sad all at the same time. All right, so I've already got this done, and I'm going to want to put this kind of in the center so you can see it when you open it up. So I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I have these extra little pieces of this heart that I could use on the sides. I could take this heart and cut it back out with the other die that matches the inside. So you could have a center die like this. But I haven't really decided what I wanted to put around him other than maybe a heart. I actually originally wanted to do this, but that didn't look good inside, so I thought he would really cute like this. You know. But my original card just had a lace heart that went around him, and you could see it through the window. But my dies do not have one that would fit in the window of this particular cutout. So I wasn't quite sure what to do with him. I thought this would look cute, but again, it's not in a heart, so it doesn't look all that good. So I digress, you know. So I haven't really decided. I think I'm just going to leave him right here. I'm going to put a little temporary tape on him and just leave him there. And I might put some food, maybe make sunshine around him. I'm not sure. I don't know. You guys got any suggestions? If you have any suggestions, just let me know and we'll finish him up with that. So we're going to leave him sit just like that. Now the Pampered Pets comes with lots of little sentiments. We could just put little hearts around him and some mice. I think that might be what we do. We've got some black and we can color him in. Let's do a little bit of hearts. And I love this set. This set is really nice. Let's see, we've got some hearts here. And we have some flutterbys. And let's see, here's the sentiment we're going to use. So get a block. And I have one right here. It's a little bit big, but you know, it's all right. I'm going to use Memento ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp these, and then I will color them in with my blends. So I've got him stamped where I want him. So I'm just, or stuck where I want him at. So I'm just going to put a few little hearts all around. And we'll take that one off. And we'll put the little butterflies on. I'm going to stamp them to see how they look. Okay, on that way. There we go. I think that's what I might put one set up there. There we go. Some butterflies and some hearts, and we can color those in because, you know, this is a sympathy. You could put your sympathy up at top, or you can put it at the bottom. I'm going to put mine at the bottom because I've already stamped at the top, of course. You could save it and put it on the side. That's entirely up to you, and I'm throwing my stamp pad everywhere. I want to stamp it to make sure I know where it's going. So when I put them on backwards, I don't stamp on my cardstock backwards. Then I got to start all over. I'm going to stamp this right here. And I stamped it crooked, of course. I digress. We can take this off and start over. How's that? There we go. We'll just flip it over. There's our base. Set it in here. And make sure your pencil, not a pen. All right, there we kind of know. I'm going to go ahead and since I've messed up, I'm going to put it on the top. There we go. Always in our hearts. Let's hopefully we get that in there right this time. Yay! I had another person that lost their puppy dog. My granddaughter asked me, Mamie, can we make one of those for her? And I said, sure. But she's in school, so she can't make it with me. So I told her I would help her out. And we've got the little hearts. Put a few here. So now we've got to figure out where that puppy is going to go. Remember? He's going to go right in the middle. And I'm stamping right where he's going to be. And I'll put some of those butterflies in. Let's make sure we know which way the butterflies are going. And this is a full ink pad, thank goodness, because if it wasn't, it would not be so easy to put this Memento on. Memento can be pretty tricky. It starts to get low on its ink. I still don't have any. If you're here, say hello and share the blog post and pass it on. I'd be happy to know that you're here. We've got all of our guy on here. I'm going to go back in and erase my little heart here. And then I can take my little puppy off here and I can See, it's got a little thing there, but we're going to cover that up with the puppy. With our little schnauzer. Because, you know, I like schnauzers. That was the main reason I bought this set, was this schnauzer. I love this particular one. I know it's off of a model of one of the Stampin' Up! Employees or CEO that have a schnauzer, and that's why they chose that one. Their schnauzer was the model. And I'm all like, but I have a schnauzer too, so I liked it. Okay, here we go. And I put some ink on it, but that's all right. Leave that up. Now I'm going to take my glue again. I'm going to go ahead and do my tape runner, and I'm going to put it on permanently and with a touch of glue. You can even do pop dots or dimensionals, whatever you would like to do. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue. My glue is kind of, woo! It's all at the bottom because of my little tool that I use to hang it upside down. And we're just going to put him right back where he was. There you go. So now that this is all done, I see I have a few edges here that I don't like. So I'm going to take my scissors and just kind of scrape those off. My blade on my trimmer needs to be changed. There we go. Probably time to order some more blades. I'm almost out. There we go. Now I'm going to put this in here. And when we close it up, all we're going to see is this pretty little puppy. Probably could have put him a little lower, but that's all right. And I'm going to put my adhesive down. And we'll stick him right inside. I mean, getting folds are really actually pretty simple once you figure out the process. I have another card next week that we're going to do that's going to be a peekaboo card. And it's going to be with the gnomes. So I love the gnomes and In the Pines. I think next week I'm going to focus on In the Pines itself the whole week. Everything I do is going to be about the In the Pines bundle. I'm in love. And there was a demonstrator named Carrie. I can't say her last name. I have no idea. But she has done some lovely, lovely things with her In the Pines bundle. And I cannot wait to show you what I have done. Okay, so there's the base of our card. You could go in and put a little bit of brush of color on the bricks here to make them stand out, but I think they're fine just like that. Now we're going to do our belly band. Now when you adhere your belly band, you're going to want to make sure after you've done all your score marks, before you varnish your belly band, you're going to want to make sure that it's going to slide on and off without giving you any problems. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to make sure. Then I'm going to varnish it. Or, you know, use my bone folder. That makes sense to you. I get tongue-tied with my words, you know. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to make sure I use tear and tape, because using tear and tape on this is very necessary, because this is going to be pulled on and off all the time, and you want people to be able to keep using this belly band and not make it fall apart, because that wouldn't be fun. So I'm going to put my adhesive right here on the very end of one of my sides. It doesn't really matter which side you do, because we're going to flip it this way. So we're going to need to have another piece. This way, we'll need to have another piece here. And I'm going to put 2 on each end, just so I can make sure it's really going to stay on for them. And I'm not going to adhere it yet. I'm going to leave these little pieces covered. All right. So we've got our tear tape, and it's ready to be taken down and have that done. We're going to do the front first. And remember, I did my ornate borders. I went ahead and cut these out. These are in Whisper White, and I ran them through with the adhesive back. So when I pull this adhesive back, not only will the majority of all of the extra little pieces come off and poke out, here's my poke tool, but you won't have a whole lot of poking through to do. just a little bit. So you want to make sure you get all of this out before you place it down. And yes, I'm going to have sticky pieces everywhere. And it's okay, because that's the fun of crafting. And this is nicely put, so you don't have to worry about how much glue you get everywhere, leaving something to dry. I really like them for this particular type of thing. The adhesive back sheets are wonderful for all those little tiny cutouts that you do, like your words. We have a set right now with joy, bright, Christmas, and they have shadows, and you layer them together, and this would be perfect for that. Let's see, and we're almost done getting this one poked out. Okay, so this one is not beautiful, so to speak. So I'm going to take it from the end that is all together. Oh, I got a piece here that I didn't get out. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. I'm assuming I'm going to do the front first, so I'll probably do that first. But I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. All right. So it should just lay flat. There you go. And I'm going to take the one that I've already done, my sticky one, set it off to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and take my other one and cut it out. And I want to put this one on the front, because this one doesn't have as many missing pieces. If it will let me peel the backing off. Yes. And there's not that many that's stuck on this one, thank goodness. You can use your poker, you can get it out with your fingers. It's really up to you. All right. All right, so this is the front. And I'm going to start right here, in the middle of my 1-inch piece. So give us a nice, pretty little, pretty little border. And yes, you saw that it did come off, and that's all right. We were going to trim this anyway, because it's going to just roll over. So I'm just going to trim it, so that way each side is the same. As soon as I find where I put my little scissors. There we go. So there. So we have that one. And you see a little piece got stuck in here. Let's see if I can get it out. There, I got that. Good. Because if it's stuck in there, it'll keep it from laying flat, which will mess your belly band up. So now I'm going to take my other piece, and I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah, we're going to go from this way. And you're going to lay right over your little joining spot. Just going to lay right over it. And I left a lot of room on the joining spot because I wanted it to have a lot of strength, because it's going to be folded over and used quite a bit. So now we're just going to trim this one off as well. There we go. So we've got a pretty little belly band. There you go. Simple, simple, simple little belly band that goes right over a very plain card, but holds it together, and you see this cute, adorable little card with our puppy. And when you open it up, you have both hearts on both sides. Is that not just beautiful? Now I would probably go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of color to this. I think I'm going to do, let's use the Magenta Madness. Magenta Madness and a sponge. Now, my other one, like I said, I had a heart that showed up here that you didn't see all that. And I'm going to color in those hearts with some of these markers that I've got sitting here. I'm going to put just a touch of Magenta Madness on these embossed pieces, just so you can see some of that color come through, or some of that dimension of the bricks. And the same on the other side. There we go. Oh, got a little more right here. So when you fold it up, get this pretty little magenta area. And I'm going to cover up some of these flower or these hearts. We could go red, but I have magenta out, so we're going to go with some magenta. And this will fill in a little bit and make it that much more pretty. And a lot more dimension to it. It won't look so one-sided. Because there's not a lot of color on our dog here because, you know, he's mostly white. And I'm going to use my dark blue on the butterflies. Because, you know, being in the mud for a dog is like heaven. I'm using the light blue on my little hearts. And this is a balmy blue. And you could use any colors you wanted. It wouldn't really matter. I'm going to do a little bit of the brown on our butterflies too. Give you that snap. And we're almost finished. All right, there we go. So now he's nice and colored. We've got a picturesque little card with a beautiful belly band. So this is a gatefold card with your dimensions on both sides. Now, this particular card for your little heart here, you could use and do this with any symmetrical pattern. You can use squares, circles, whatever works. I will probably make another one with a circle and use this in the middle because I love this little card. I just love that piece. Because, you know, I loved my ombre effect, those colors. It just, they were fabulous. I mean, this one, I have now got the video for you, and that's the way it will look to be delivered, just like this. And it fits in our standard card, standard envelope. So I wanted to give you a sneak peek of some of the stuff we're going to do next week. I don't know where the rest of my in the pines things went, but this is the one we're going to make next week. I got a piece of dimensional on there. This is similar to what we'll do next week. It's a peekaboo. Open it up and boop, there we go with a little gnome in there. So we're going to do that one next week. Here's a couple of other ones that I've got going on with the in the pines. These are just samples. And then I made that ombre effect that you see here. I did that on these as well with my in the pines. So there you have it, guys. I will see you all next week at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 10 a.m. Central. I I hope you enjoyed today's gatefold card, and I'll see you next week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Well, you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.